is that in Europe and in the United Kingdom where I'm from, the age of consent is 16, and I did sleep with a 16-year-old when I was 30. But when I was
So Russell Brand is trying to save his brand. He's trying to rebrand. He's trying to distance himself from all these sexual assault and rape allegations, and the investigation which is pending, and the documentary about him. And he's going on all these TV shows, trying to clear his image. He's now like admitted to sleeping with a 16-year-old when he was 30. But he's saying I'm not a pedophile because 16 is the age of consent in England. But so he was 30. The person he slept with was 16. That means when she was born, Russell was 14. He was in high school, which is crazy. Like, what would he even talk to a 16-year-old about when you're 30? Like when he's trying to pick her up. Like, I assume like he's gonna try to. I assume he courted her or picked her up. Like, what would he talk to her about? Though, going off some of the allegations, maybe he didn't. Maybe he just threw himself on her. I don't know. These are all allegations. Anyway, so Russell Brand is now a born again Christian. He's found God, even though back in the day he said he didn't believe in God. But now he is a born again. He wrote a book, How to Become Christian in 7 Days or something. I'm not going to be reading that. That sounds terrible. But yeah, so, and he's saying because he's a born again, he should be forgiven. Like, but isn't that like this kind of the same argument with General Butt Naked? That African warlord? That was his nickname. I don't think that was his real name. So it's either Africa. There's a politician in Africa whose name is Adolf Hitler, so they do have some out there names. General Butt Naked is also something I could imagine Russell Brand calling himself, but yeah, so anyway, the whole General Butt Naked and Russell Brand thing, argument is they did terrible things in the past, and now they're born again, they're Christians, or is forgiven. Kind of like, the angels in that movie Dogma, where they go on a killing spree and try to get into the church. It's pretty much the whole thing, but same thing. But anyway, if you don't know who Russell Brand is, he was like famous in the early thousands. He went out with Katy Perry for a bit. He used to host the MTV Movie Awards, Music Awards, Video Awards, all those type of things. And it was always cringe. I'm glad to say I was never a fan of his. I always found his humor stupid. I remember a lot of my friends liked him, and they're like, "Oh man, he's hilarious." I'm like, "Oh, not really." He's like, "No, you just gotta like get his jokes. You just gotta have that type of humor." And I'm like, "Isn't that the same as all comedy?" I was more of a Dane Cook fan who, his comedy hasn't aged the best, and there has been joke theft allegations or universal thinking allegations, but I still rather be a Dane Cook fan than a Russell Brand fan. And and Russell Brand, talking about stealing, I reckon that he stole his whole act from another comedian, Paul Foot, who is still touring. I believe he went to the Australian, Melbourne and Sydney Comedy Festival this year. I could be wrong, don't quote me on that. But anyway, Russell Brand, it's just cringe. All his jokes was about being a sex maniac.
Create a sexual context of absolute perpetual bliss, a moment that exists outside of time, a moment where you're unaware of your birth, unaware of your death, where you're absolutely in that animalistic moment and yet at the same time divine. I likes them.
And it turns out he was a sex maniac. Whoa, that's crazy. And he was also an actor, and I use that term loosely because he played the same character in every movie. And his character in movies is the same character that he plays in real life. But all his movies suck, but really only successful one is Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and the sequel or spin-off, Get Him to the Greek, where he plays like this drugged out rock star, which pretty much who he is. Get Him to the Greek also starred P. Diddy and Jonah Hill, who also have things towards women about him, which I'm not going to get into. All I'm saying is that would have probably been a very stressful movie set to be a woman on, I reckon. But anyway, so yeah, Russell did all these terrible movies in the thousands period, and most of them are forgotten. He wrote this book, My Wookiee Book or something, which is dumb. Like, My Wookiee Book is probably the second dumbest title I ever heard after How to Become a Christian in 7 Days. But anyway, so he did that Adam Sandler movie, which no one remembered, Bedtime Stories. I think it's about these kids and their bedtime stories come to life when Adam Sandler reads them. I think there's I can't remember. It's really a forgettable film. It wasn't very good. But I think there's a scene where like it rains bubblegum. But anyway, Russell Brand did that movie because he thought he'd be like reading bedtime stories to kids and he could tuck him in, but I don't think that happened. Maybe he did. And I just forgot it. But he also did a remake of the Dudley Moore classic Arthur. Which I always thought overrated, but it is a comedy classic. Dudley Moore won a Golden Globe and was nominated for an Academy Award for it. It's about a rich guy who gives everything up for love. Like he falls in love with a prostitute, I think, and his family aren't happy, and they're like, if you marry her, you're gonna lose all your money, and he did. And Russell Brand did a remake. And this is the trailer.
Hello, Robson.
And so in the Dudley Moore one, he played like a drunk, and he totally nailed it because Dudley Moore had that drunk image persona in the same way that Russell Brand has this sex maniac persona. And the movie got panned. It was terrible. It was crap. And everyone's like, why would he remake it? And why, if you were going to remake it, why would he cast Russell Brand? That's like really bad casting. And I agreed with that back then. But now, looking back, I'm going to say Russell Brand is probably a more realistic rich person than Dudley Moore, you know, with the whole, like, allegations pending, like the sleeping with underage kids and raping people. Because we all know that's what famous people do now because of Jeffrey Epstein Island. You know, Russell Brand would have been one of those rich people who went there. He might have been there. I don't know if he's on the list, you know. Maybe he was too annoying to be on the list because Jeffrey Epstein was a comedy fan. And maybe he's like, nah, Russell Brand, that's not comedy. He's terrible, you know. And Russell Brand was like a rich kid in real life anyway, and I think that's helped him to break into the comedy scene. Now, I'm not saying I'm not against rich people getting into comedy. I know a lot of hilarious comedians who come from rich backgrounds, but I feel like they still would have been great comedians without the money. Russell Brand, I don't think so. I don't think he would have got very far without his parents' money. There's a scene in the movie trailer for Arthur where he's going for a job. And instead of a resume, he showed like these sexy photos he's taken at home, which is probably the most realistic part of the movie. It probably was improvised. He's like, oh, I have these photos as I want to show the world, but I don't want to incriminate myself, so let's put it in the movie scene. And there's also another scene where he goes, I'm a grown man or something. Then like he turns the lights off and there's all these like children planet lights. And he's like, don't hold me accountable for that or whatever. And I'm thinking that's pretty much his defense, which he's using right now to protect himself. You know? I was a totally different person back then. Don't judge me on that.
No, PowerPoint? No, Outlook.
I am a grown man and I shall get a job to prove it. Don't let that undermine what I just said.
In it, I think I'm not fucking. I am fuck.
More like, you are fucked.